Hello and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Thursday, September 27th, 2018. Just going to read our disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks has a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice. Always for your further homework. Good morning, Sue here. Hope you've had a good week so far. It's been an interesting one in the markets with the Federal Reserve in the U.S. hiking rates by a quarter point yesterday. That was the third time this year, and I think they're expected to raise once again in December. So we will see how the market reacts to that news in the days to come. But with that, let's get into today's video. If you know me, you know I always start my videos off with a look at the Russell Index. And for that, I use the IWM, which is the ETF that represents the Russell 2000. And I like to step back and take a look at things on a 5-year monthly time frame. Pardon me. So here we are. This is the IWM monthly chart. You can see that it kind of bottomed back here in early 2016. And it's been in this nice uptrend ever since. Here is where we are so far for the month of September. We're getting a red candle. 2 trading days left in the month, following a bullish candle for the month of August. I like to look at bear charts, so the only indicator really on this chart is the blue line, which is the 8-day EMA, and my short-term resistance, medium, and long-term. So I'm kind of ignoring these for now and really focusing in on this area up here. But what I want you to take away from this big picture view is the long uptrend that the market has been in, the bullish candle for the month of August, and the orientation to the September candle where we are right here, right now. So I'm going to move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 1-year weekly. And I use the blue line as my guide when price on the Russell is up and over the blue 8-day EMA on the weekly and daily chart. Mostly daily is my orientation. I will put new charts forward, but when it's trading below, I'm just kind of sitting tight and watching to see if I need to get defensive. So as you can see, the Russell Index is below my line of short-term support, but it is coming into this area of consolidation from the past. The futures are up this morning, so will it regain the pink line? We'll have to see. But this is the look on the weekly, below support, below the 8-day EMA. Now I'm going to switch it over to the daily, and you can see the pink line of support being lost yesterday. We are below the 8-day EMA on the daily, so I need to see price recover and regain my pink line before I get excited about buying any stocks again. But with the futures looking perky this morning, I will highlight an old Chart of the Day Cafe pick that, should the markets recover and start to pick up here, it might be one to keep an eye on. But we're not going to put any new watch list picks forward because, as I mentioned, price is below the 8-day EMA on the daily and the weekly. And the chart that I wanted to feature for you this morning, should the markets have a strong day and price recover from yesterday's sell-off, is Telus Corporation, ticker symbol TU. This is a dual-listed Canadian company. We are looking at it on the U.S. side. It trades on the New York Stock Exchange. It is a utility in the telecom space. So with that, let's get into the scores. You know me, I will never put a chart in front of you that does not have good fundamentals underneath it. And Telus still has the value score I look for, along with a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 11%. A current PE of 16.03 and a dividend yield of 3.38%. So with that, let's get into the chart. We're looking at the 5-year monthly, and again, I remind you, we're looking at this on the US side. As you can see, much like the Russell Index, it kind of bottomed here in 2016. It picked up our blue 8-day EMA and then has had a nice, been in a nice uptrend since then. This is my area of support resistance. I can tell you that this chart has never been higher. I call it sky is blue. There's no overhead resistance in this area. So I like the way it moved up and over my orange line of resistance, support resistance, came in, retested, I'm lifted from there. It was our Chart of the Day Cafe featured chart back here in June as it lifted off that area of support and we started to get a bullish candle, and it's been in a nice uptrend since then. So this is the monthly chart. I'm going to swap it over to the 1 year weekly so you can better see. So here's where we featured it at Chart of the Day Cafe as it lifted off that orange line of support, started to bounce. I reiterated it in here on September 6th as one to keep an eye on, and I am going to put it forward again in this area here. So this is the weekly look, and again I remind you, up and over this area, no overhead resistance. So let's swap it away from the 1 year weekly to the 6 month daily, and you can see this is the blue line I use as my guide. It's starting to look as though it wants to lift. It's all about how the markets react overall today, but I like that it's made a low, a higher low, and a slightly higher, sorry, I should say higher high. A low, a higher low, and a slightly higher low over here. So I will be looking at Telus for some lift in the days to come, and it's all about the markets overall and whether they can regain that area of support, but if they do, I think this is one to really keep an eye on. Along with the chart I'm flagging, I also like to take a look at the sector that it's in, and for that we're looking at IYZ, which is the ETF, the telecommunications space, 5 year monthly chart. Just like our Russell Index chart and Telus chart, you can see that it bottomed in 2016, had a beautiful run from there, came in, retested this area of support, and looks as though it wants to lift in this area. Nice to see the volume coming in. So Telus being a component of this sector with the scores and dividend, should this start to rise and resume the uptrend here, then it would make sense to me that Telus would do the same. So that's the monthly look. Let's take a look at it on the daily. Beautiful uptrend here, coming into an area of support. Will it lift? We'll see. But I really like the overall uptrend of this chart. Along with that, I like to take a look at seasonality for my watch list pick. And sorry for this very small picture, but as you can see, Telus Corporation is in a time of seasonal strength. So no guarantee that happens again this year, but always a good data point to know. And as well, I also like to look at analyst support for my new watch list pick. It's not a new watch list pick, it's a review, but we're on the FinViz page for Telus. You can see they've had a recent downgrade, but for the most part, the coverage has been pretty favorable. And I'm also going to include this interview that I found on BNN with a guy from Scotiabank who talks about Telus, and it's a very even and balanced opinion, I thought. So I'm including it with today's video. So keeping an eye on Telus. And so to quickly recap, I started today's video with a look at the Russell Index, and we note that overall, I usually have this box checked, but I do not this time. Price on the Russell is trending below the 8-day EMA on both the daily and weekly chart. So you want to be extra cautious in this area. Volatility is also picking up a little bit. So it's all about how the overall market trends, but we want to be careful. It's lost that short-term area of support, needs to recover it. But should it recover, then Telus might be a chart to take a look at. So we looked at the 5-year chart for Telus, and we note that overall it's in an uptrend on the 5-year chart and at an area of possible support and price strength continuation, noting that sky is blue overhead. There's no overhead resistance should it start to pick up from this area. We looked at the sector, IYZ. It's trending on the 5-year chart. We noted that it hit a bottom in 2016, like the overall markets, peaked, came in, tested support, and looks to be lifting off that area of support on the 5-year chart. These are highlighted because they're absolutely critical for me. Telus has a good value score and a good growth score with a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 11%. It's got a dividend yield of 3.38%. It does not have what I look for yet, which is a 3 and 8 EMA cross. Looks to be consolidating here, so I don't have that checked, but it does have seasonality in its favor. We looked at the seasonal chart. FinViz shows a recent downgrade, but it also has a lot of other support, including the video I will include with today's, with my video. I'm going to let you decide whether you want to check that box or not, but for me it would be a check, but I'll let you decide. Telus has a current PE of 16.03, and it looks as though their next earnings date is on November 8th. Thank you for watching today's video. Might be worth keeping an eye on Telus. Again, it's dual listed, Canadian-US. And as a reminder, these videos go out every Tuesday and Thursday morning. Thank you very much for watching and have a great weekend.